I've always been into sport. Before bodybuilding, I was a 100 and 200 metre sprinter. So I've done this for my school, my county, and I've done 2 internationals as well. So I've always been into training and working hard. However, when I stopped athletics, I got ill and then I got injured and I didn't get back into it. I went to work in the city. I was always longing for something to compete in, something that I could train for, because sport's always been my thing, and I felt a bit lost. So my friend Shannon, who I used to run with, I messaged her on Instagram because I saw that she was doing this bikini bodybuilding, and I thought that's something that I could probably get into. So I messaged her and said, hey, like, do you need any coaches? Could you coach me? She said, yes, I can coach you. And that was about a year ago. Completely fell in love with it. I love pushing my body to its limits in training, and bodybuilding allowed me to do that again. So I just love competing, and I think athletics really prepared me for what was to come in bodybuilding. Working hard, pushing your body to its limits, and just giving your everything to succeed in sport. Bodybuilding isn't just 90 minutes in the gym, it's a lifestyle. So having a daily routine and disciplined lifestyle is essential to becoming the best bodybuilder you can be. So you have to be persistent with your training, you have to have a strict diet, and what you eat is crucial to being at the top of your game. So I wake up, make my first meal, so I have about 7 meals a day. So first meal might be like oats with some protein and some nut butter, so you've got carbs, fats and protein in every single meal. And then if I've got to work, I'll go to work and then have my second meal around 10 o'clock, and then so forth throughout the day. And then you'll have a pre-workout meal, which would be some form of complex carbs and simple carbs, so maybe a bagel and jam, for example. And then you'll have your post-workout meal, which will be exactly the same thing, just something... That was the bagel. Just something different, which is going to be, so for example, I have baby food because it replenishes the carbs quickly, so fruit, just fast acting, so that will go in. And then throughout the day I'll have more chicken and rice meals, so you've got your complex carbohydrates, and then you've got your protein as well. And then throughout the day it will just be things like that. So during contest prep, the meals are a lot smaller, you'll have less calories throughout the day. You'll also be doing cardio as well, so you'll be burning more calories than you're eating. So right now it's like off-season mode, so I'm eating a lot more carbs to fuel my training, and throughout the day I'll have more bigger meals, whereas contest prep it's a lot less. You have more vegetables, you're trying to get rid of all the water, and that's basically it. So you go for a cycle and you work your carbs and everything around your training. So usually train around 4 o'clock, so I've had a few meals before that and then a few meals after to replenish what I've lost there. What I'm making now is plain chicken, no oil in the pan because you want to keep everything to a minimum, no salt or anything like that because that can make you hold water, no seasoning, just keep it really plain and dry basically. 6 litres of water a day, so I've already done 2 here. This is probably my 4th litre now, so that's 3, yeah, so on my 4th litre. So basically the reason why you drink so much water is because when you're training you lose so much water as well, so you want to replenish that to the muscles. So DOMS is something that you get after training, so delayed onset muscle soreness. So this helps with DOMS and with holding water as well. If you don't drink enough water, your body holds on to water, so you want to basically flush everything out of the digestive system. Also take a lot of supplements, so you've got protein powder, which I use a vegan one purely because whey protein doesn't agree with my stomach. We've got BioCult, which is basically like acidophilus, which is a probiotic, so that helps with digestion as well. So you want to keep all the good bacteria in your gut. This is an example of baby food that I eat purely because it's good after a workout to replenish it. And we've got a load of herbal teas. Anastaxin, which is to help with muscle soreness after training. Vitamin D to help with bones and your joints. And then these water cut tablets is something that you take during prep to get rid of all the water that's in your stomach and around your body so that you look leaner and drier. And the same with vitamin C, you'll take that before a show as well, like basically overdose on vitamin C, maybe like 5 grams a day, so take 2 grams a day so that you're weeing out all the water basically. So those then 2 in competition prep, and then all the others during off season. Everything just about ease really, because when you're meal prepping it does take a lot of time, so I try and make everything easy and plain as possible. So like I said earlier, you don't use any oil, any seasoning on your food. Keep it exactly plain, because when you're trying to get lean or you're trying to build muscle, you want to give your body the right nutrients that it needs and not adding all this stuff into it. So when you're in contest prep, you can't really go out and eat with your friends because you have to stick to a strict diet. You have to eat the same thing every day. and that's because your body likes that, and it likes routine, and you know what's good for it. If you started changing your foods and adding in stuff, you're not going to get lean, you're not going to look competition ready. People just say, oh, one thing won't hurt. They'll try and make you eat something that you don't want to eat, but they don't realise that that one thing can affect how you look on stage, and it will affect your prep. So yeah, other people might not know that you've eaten it, or if you slip up on your diet, but on stage day, people will see that and people will know if you're not looking your best. So it's really not worth it. You have to be so dedicated. Bodybuilding is not just about training in the gym, it's about the willpower to avoid those situations, or even going into those situations, you need to be able to say, no, I don't want it. So it is more of a lifestyle. It's not just a short-term thing. Even in off-season, you don't go completely off your diet and crazy. You need to stick to that diet still and make the most improvements you can for next year. So that's why you eat plain food.
Yes, Jay! Yes, Jay! Yes, Jay, you look wicked! Woo!
So body image is extremely topical in today's society because women have been perceived for a long time based on the way they look. So especially in the sport of bodybuilding, that is based around people judging you on the way you look. It's not about who's the strongest or who's trained the hardest. It is simply who looks best in the day. So from the outside, people can see bodybuilding as being very masculine because they're thinking of the main names in the sport. The poster boy, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Kai Green, Flex Lewis, Flex Wheeler, all these names, but they're never thinking of the women inside the sport. Bodybuilding actually isn't male dominated. Like, there's actually so many girls that compete in the sport, and I think as an outsider you automatically presume that it is male dominated, but when you're actually inside the sport you realise there's just as many females as there is males. There's so many female categories that people don't know about. So you've got bikini, you've got wellness, you've got body fitness, you've got physique, but a lot of people only think of the physique women, which is the larger categories, as bodybuilding. So I think, yeah, it is male dominated in the fact that from an outsider's perspective you can only see that, but when you come inside there's such a big community of girls, and it feels great to be a part of that and something different. Yeah, so I feel like a lot of people who say it's masculine are people who don't know very much about the sport. They're only going off things that they've seen, like a couple of pictures and what their perception of bodybuilding is. But as soon as they come inside the sport and they learn, the girls don't look masculine. Yes, you have muscle, but when you're a bodybuilder, you're so lean, it is literally impossible to look that manly, and when you're posing, that makes the muscles look the way they do. But if I'm just standing normally in front of the gym, like a lot of people say to me, oh, I didn't realise you were that small. Whereas in pictures when you're posing, it's very deceiving because that's the way you want to be perceived in the sport, you're showing your muscles. So people wouldn't actually believe that two people are the same kind of thing. From looking at stage and looking at real life, it's completely different. No one else is judging you from the outside, really, in terms of whether you look lean or whether you look a bit fuller. So when you're prepping for a show, you're looking at your body day in, day out. You know exactly what it's supposed to look like, whether you're 1 pound heavier or 1 pound lighter. You know the difference in yourself, and sometimes that can get you down because you're not looking your best. But from an outsider's perspective, you are the leanest person in the world. But coming out of the show, you are going to put on weight, and sometimes that does mess with your mind because you're thinking of yourself when you were leanest, but then you're just coming back to a normal human size. But for girls especially, I think sometimes it is quite challenging seeing your body change, but if you want to make the improvements in sport, you want to have a good off-season and build muscle, that is the process you have to go through, gaining weight and then losing it to look good on stage. So, and same thing for men as well, like people don't realise that men go through the same thing that the women do, and especially when you're low dieting, like low calories, all your hormones are over the place, you're thinking differently, and it is a cycle, but you kind of get to learn, like you learn yourself and how you're going to react to certain things. So I think the more shows you do, you learn more about yourself, and then the body image aspect of it will get better. So posing is a really big part of bodybuilding, and the pose routine that you learn is universal, so everyone is doing the same poses on stage. It's almost like the art of bodybuilding. You need to get the posing right so that you can show your muscles off in the best way possible. At first, when I first started learning posing, it felt so unnatural, and some of the positions that you had to get in, it didn't feel right. And then over time, the more you practice, your body can naturally slip into those movements and you can add your own style to it as well. Okay, so front pose, you just want to tense the quads, and then you turn your hips out, and then squeeze your legs together in the middle, so it's almost like you've got an apple in between your legs. And these lines here, your adductors, they're going to pop out. So you tense them back, push your bum back. You then do a lat spread, so your lats come out here at the sides, and then you drop one arm down, so you can see the shoulder, and then place one hand on your hip, and come forward, but you want to be standing upright as well, so your bum's back, but your chest is up. And the transition in the middle is kind of like a flow just to make the poses go together. And then you're twisting here, so you can see the glute, see a little bit of hamstring. And then you bring this leg up, push your knee into the other knee. Your bum's going to be up, your belly button's facing this way, but then you're twisting the upper body to face there. And then again, you're looking at the shoulder, you're looking at how tight the midsection is, how big your glute is, and then the hamstring pops up here. So when you're lean, you've got a line going down there. So you can see the hamstring separation. Then you transition to this pose, turn the hair so you can see the lats, do a lat spread there, and push the glute out as well. Turning around here, back pose, bum out so you can see the glutes. So when you lean, you get a line down here, see the separations. You then do another front lat spread, drop the arm down so you can see the back. Transition again. Here as well is another glute pose. Tricep down here, and then coming back into the side pose here. Turning back to the front, glute, tricep, to the front foot pose. From the moment I started training in bodybuilding, the goal was always to compete in competitions, and the goal was always to win in those competitions or to place in the competitions. It's always top 3, so either first, second or third. Obviously you can't go in with any expectations, but you can always hope to do your best, and I wanted to know that the hard work and dedication that I'd put in would get me one of those top placings, and I'm really proud of what I've achieved in such little time.
151, Jay Packer.
So this is the trophy I won at my first competition. So it was a British qualifier. It was called the South Coast Championships that took place in Portsmouth. So I came second in my category, which means that I then qualified for the British finals, which is going to take place in October 2018. So I've just done that a couple of weeks ago. So that was my first one. I was really pleased with that, second place, because it's your first show, you never know what to expect. I did actually want to win because that's my mentality, but on reflection, it's probably the best thing that could have happened, because then you want to work harder and try and get a better trophy next time, which is good. This was from my second show, and I love this trophy, it's my favourite. So this was called the English Grand Prix, and the English Grand Prix is a qualifier for the international shows that take place. So if you place in the top 3, then you receive an invite to the international shows. One of them is the IFBB Diamond Cup in Greece, another one is another Diamond Cup, and I think it was in Spain, and then there was the Arnold Classic Europe, which is in Barcelona. And I came second in my class. I beat the girl who won against me last time. So I was happy with that result as well, and just qualifying for the Arnolds in my first year competing was actually amazing. To get there, I think I wrote a list of goals at the beginning of the year, and that was one of my goals, to get to the Arnolds. So I was really pleased with that, and again got another trophy and was left hungry for more, so I was really excited to prep for the Arnolds. Then done the Arnold Classic, got my certificate of participation here, and I'm just really proud of myself for getting there in the first place. It didn't go to plan, but then on reflection again, it's still the best thing that could happen, because you want to work harder, you want to achieve more, and you want to bring your best to the stage. So I'm still really proud of that. And then this is the final trophy from the British finals, which I qualified for from the April show. And I came third in the British finals, which means I'm now third in Britain for wellness. And yeah, I'm just really pleased with this one, because I literally could have done any better. I didn't go in there with any expectations. I was supposed to bring my best package, and I came out third in my first year for competing. So, and the fact that it is a bronze as well is so much better, because now next year I've got something to work towards. I've got silvers, I've got bronze, and now I want the gold next year. So that's that. Competing in competitions is what bodybuilding is all about. It's about perfectly timing everything so that you peak on that day and you can showcase your best physique on that day. It's all about your training, your diet, how much of an athlete you are, so everyone can see the final product. So competing in the competitions, it's like a really surreal situation. Like for the first competition, I didn't know how I was going to be when I stepped on stage because you've never done it before and you can't really imagine what it's going to be like. In my head I wasn't nervous, but as soon as you hit the stage my legs were shaking, and yeah, so it's a really surreal situation because you're trying to pose and look your best but you want to stay calm. And even though you look glamorous and you're wearing all this fake tan, you're wearing this jewellery and this nice bikini, the way you got there was basically not blood, sweat and tears, but hard work and dedication, and people don't only see the glamorous side of it on the stage, whereas all the hard work is done before you step on the stage, whereas different sports you have to perform on the day, whereas this you do all the hard work beforehand. But then even still, if you're posing on stage and you're not showing off the hard work in the right way, then you could get placed lower. And it's weird because this sport, it's not, oh, someone who's the fastest and you've won. It's all about opinion. So yeah, it's weird in terms of body image. You're getting judged on your physique and if someone likes it or not, basically. So they're giving you points and stuff that they like, so they don't like. But in a way, then it is kind of good that if the general consensus from the judges is that you look the best, then it was an opinion from everyone that was the same. But then also, some girls can get very down about it because if you're getting judged on your body and they don't like it, then what kind of mental implications does that give you as an athlete? If someone goes, oh, I don't like your glutes, I don't like this, your lats aren't big enough. Obviously you can go away and work on those things, but at the end of the day you're being judged on your body parts and someone's telling you you need to be more muscular, you need to do this. So in terms of bodybuilding, it's good, but in terms of maybe mental health for certain people, it can become an obsession to try and make things better. But that is the sport and that's the way it works. You can never skip a training session, you can't skip a meal, you can't go off on a tangent and do things that you want to do. You need to literally live it day in, day out. You need to train, you need to eat all your meals, you need to get all your water in. There's literally no excuses. Not, I was feeling ill, my friends wanted to go out. You literally just have to, it consumes you and it is all about you. Like bodybuilding is a very selfish sport, and if you've got other people interfering with things, it's not going to work. You literally have to make it all about you and do what's best for yourself, get all your sleep, training intensity needs to be through the roof, and just make sure you're working harder than anyone else, basically, and bring everything you've got to the stage.